heading down to the beach, which is about 45-50 minutes. I got 2 projects going on out there, and I think there's about 6 pallets. I was gonna bring one of my machines down there, but I think it might be just more effective for me to pay somebody. There's a guy running a little skid steer next door on some kind of yard work, so they want to charge me $100 to do it. That's fine, but yeah, we're gonna load it up and see how it goes. Knuckles is up there. I found him as a baby, pretty much raised him. Now he hangs out around here. We feed him, and he's fairly tame, but he can hunt on his own now. He still hangs around here. We give him food and such. Hey, Dylan! Dylan! The hawk's here. Get a frog or a lizard. The hawk is over here. Get a frog or a lizard. Hurry up. All right, so one thing I did that I try to do on all of my equipment is protect anything that's going to be metal to metal contact, just to reduce the chance of rust. So I threw this thin liner in on the toolbox. It's a big toolbox, but once I get the chains and the binders in there, it's just going to be a lot of friction back and forth, and I try to hang on to everything I have as long as I can. So let's get cranking here. Come on, bring it over here. He's over here. He's up above. You got it? Come on, bring it over here. See him turning around? Here. Oh, that's a small lizard. He's not going to want that. You gotta get something bigger than that. Maybe a frog or something. All right. I will say I see a lot of these guys running the hydraulic jacks. They are nice. It's about a $1,500 upgrade from the factory. I should have probably gone for it, but I don't use this day in and day out, so still got a little juice in the tank to do all this manually. I don't know if I'm thrilled with this coupler here. Ram, I'm not too familiar with it. Demcos seem to be the standard now, although this seems pretty stout. I am thinking about switching to a pintle, but we'll see. Stay away from the truck, I'm loading. Dylan, stay away from the truck. Another one of the reasons why I returned that last truck. It did not have the zoom feature on the rear camera. You know what? And this hitch is new. I'm gonna go to the garage and grease this ball real quick. Let's see how it does. All right, I'm gonna grease this guy up right here. I don't think it matters much what kind of grease you're using as long as it's consistent. Sometimes I just use white lithium grease. This came with the hitch anti-friction grease. Wow, black. They're keeping it going here. I don't want to make a huge mess, so I'm gonna try to find some garbage or something to put this on. I don't have my camera stand, so it's a little tough doing this all with one hand. This may help protect the powder coating a little bit. I'm gonna put some of this inside here too. And that didn't work. Shit. I'll come back to it. All right, throw this on here. I'm gonna set this a little bit higher. I'll zoom out and show you how and why I do it this way. I was told to do this by my friend slash neighbor, a little bit of a mentor with a lot of this stuff. I didn't grow up around equipment, heavy equipment at least. I didn't grow up doing a lot of this stuff. My best friend had a farm, so I saw some of it, but it just wasn't a day in, day out kind of thing. Eventually I worked landscape and construction, so I got a little bit of exposure, but you know, it wasn't anything that would be what I would consider significant experience. So I'm going to bring this down. I'm making sure that this release is in the open position. Oh, what I wanted to show you, if you look back, I mean, generally I like to have my trailer and truck fully leveled the whole way through with the load. What I'm going to try to do here is have this ever so slightly up, because when I load it, we're going to have some tongue weight and it's going to bring that suspension down a little bit, and it should bring everything in line. So when it's totally bare, I want to have a slight angled up. Actually, I don't even know if this will work. We'll see here. I might have to make an adjustment. We'll see. I'm also not on level ground, which isn't ideal. One thing I'm noticing already about the trailer, and this is on all these cheap jacks they throw on them, but I mean, this is an expensive trailer, just shitty components. There's rust coming out here, rust water. Not a huge deal, but if I was at, let's just say, someone's house and they had a concrete driveway, you know, I wouldn't want that leaking on their driveway. Okay, that is up. Bring this way up. I'm gonna pull this onto my driveway so we can get a level surface to compare, not compare, but at least inspect, you know, what the pitch is of this trailer on this truck. And when they call these low profile, I mean, this one is definitely a very low profile trailer. It sits low. It's kind of, in my opinion, the best of both worlds between an equipment trailer that has the drive-on ramps with the wheels on the outside and a deck over. As you can see, I added on the drive over ramps as well as the extended body, so you kind of have a deck over feel. Obviously the downside is, you know, if you're loading a pallet here, you have these fenders that are in the way. The other thing is, when you look at the backside here, I may have mentioned this already, it sits so low, which is nice, but look at that dovetail. I mean, that's maybe 12 inches off the ground. What they really should do is install some kind of roller system, because that's gonna hit. I guarantee it. We're in Florida, so it's flat, but those of you that are in other areas, I mean, that's gonna hit, unfortunately. So let's see what happens here. I can already see, and I'm liking where this is at. There's a slight, you could probably not pick it up on the camera, but it's slightly angled up. I'm gonna take this onto level ground and see where it sits. but we got to do a walkthrough too and make sure everything's secure. I always use chocks. I know some people say, yeah, just load stuff, let it stay attached to your truck, but that is a lot of wear and tear on the pin within the transmission there, because that's really the only thing holding all your weight back and forth. So the tire chocks, braking properly in the truck while loading and unloading, all that stuff is important. All right, so that's locked. One thing I need is a cotter pin here. I'll find one. I don't believe there is one, but yeah, that's locked. I'm gonna drive this on the driveway and we'll take a look here in a minute. Just leave most of this stuff here. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I'm not going anywhere, so I'm not going to do the full hookup yet. Just want to get this squared away.
Every time.
Oh man, it's so humid down here.
Me and him just never did get along. Make sure I treat his sister right. He got drunk one night, started beating me up, and then got tired from the line.
Yes, it's going to be pretty hard to tell. We have it's fairly even and then ever so slightly cants upward. That's not enough though, especially because I'm going to be loading about 5 or 6 pallets on this thing. So I'm going to jack it up a little bit more. So we get these pallets that need to be moved. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are kind of long pallets. 5, 6, 7. Ooh. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Damn. So we're going to be putting this trailer to a test. Get somebody who's got a trailer there. We got to get that moved. I think he can come in here, grab these, probably come out. We'll see though. So inspections, we failed. On the types of screws that were being used. So they didn't like the decking screws and instead they wanted a flat based screw that is totally flush against the trim here. So Master Juan got us all squared away, hopefully. We'll see if they like that or not. But here's the work here.
What happened here? You missed the spring.
It came off. We'll catch it on the way down, yeah.
Catch it now.
Yeah. Got it. Trying to see what we can get on here. I should have brought a deck over because these fenders are sticking in. There's enough space, but it's still tricky to get them on. Good. Too far.
Not good?
Inch back. Good.
That's going to be one of the heavier ones. That's probably going to be one of the heavier ones, so we want to get this one elongated on there. So I think either one of these, okay. We'll pull it out, I'll wrap it, and then we can... That one's going to be heavy, and then those other guys. And the last one will leave.
Awesome. I'm grabbing these two right now.
These two, yeah, let me wrap them.
Got it. I'll grab this one.
Coming in for that, we gotta wrap these two, we're gonna leave this one, take this one, and take that one.
Yeah, so a few things here. Obviously, the pallets were not fully wrapped. I had them tightly placed, so I was just waiting until this point in time to do the wrapping. Little pro tip here, if you do any kind of wraps like this, you can see the spool from Home Depot is quite short, and it doesn't really move freely anyway, so something like a rake or a broom. I'm actually using a shower rod there. Just helps so much without having to bend over to walk that around in circles. Definitely need to wrap those down before moving on the highway. At least that's my recommendation. Other than that, I mean, the loading process went fairly smooth. We did run into some issues as expected by the wheel wells where we have the fenders. That's obviously the downside of these low profile decks. I was really on the fence. I was considering a deck over. I would have loved to have a tilt trailer, but as you can see here, it's not ideal if you're trying to load stuff onto the trailer on and off with the machine. So we, or I should say I opted for kind of a balance between the two. But this kind of stuff, deck over is obviously ideal. But there's trade-offs, right? So this guy was pretty good on his machine. The machine's a little older, but it got the job done. And I didn't really see... We probably could have put another pallet on. I didn't see much give in the suspension. I mean, that suspension's pretty stout as is. You're not going to have a ton of play. But from what I could gather, I think we were probably loaded under rating.
A couple tips for the trade. I always like to have my straps non-ratchet side on the passenger side, and then I like to throw the ratchets on the driver's side. The reason for that being is I can clearly see all of these ratchets. Make sure nothing's coming up, nothing's coming loose. Always bring these down. Always tie these off here so that they're not flying around. Here's another one up here. I don't truly like this actually. Let's see if I can pull it through any tighter. Might work. But yeah, we're pretty much set here. One thing that did not perform the greatest, super minor, first heavy load, this spring kept coming off. I'm not sure what that's about, but this sucker is stout. Even those guys are like, man, this is a hell of a trailer. And the guy was saying how he likes to run tilts, but the dovetail he said it's actually quite manageable getting on and off. So all in all, a success. Truck is loaded. We gotta get out of here. All right, pulling a heavy load here. Seems to be working fine. This exhaust brake though, you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear that when I let off the gas. Whew. Definitely effective, worth it. It just feels like it's giving my brakes such a break, no pun intended, from all the stop and go right here in the New Smyrna Beach area. See what happens when I cut out onto the highway, get moving a little bit further. Yeah, that exhaust brake is just awesome. There's even a gauge for it on here. I am pretty much maxed on this trailer. Transmission's kicking up too to break in. Yeah, that's nice. And the turn signal will auto flip to the side that you're going to. Cummins high output, getting it done as well. No complaints there either.
All right, so that's a wrap. I am exhausted. That video was actually shot quite some time ago. I've been getting way more time on that trailer. Just as a recap, it's the 22-foot HEH equipment trailer from Horizon. That one came, I had a bunch of things added onto it. That one came with the 102-inch, I don't know what you call it, wide body, but the wide width drive over fenders. It's got a 3-foot dovetail on the back with the mountain ramps. I think Diamond C refers to theirs as max ramps, but it's basically the wide ramps that come down. I also had some additional D-rings added to it. I think all models come standard with 18 ply tires if you get the 10K axles. So I think the trailer's a beast. I think it's better than the Diamond C from what I saw. I will say that the dealerships really can make or break the purchasing experience, especially the condition in which they assemble, take receipt of, and store their trailers. I think that adds up too. I can kind of go way into depth because I did a huge deep dive into trailers and what I wanted to do since I was making a bigger investment in an equipment trailer. But yeah, I think I will be doing a detailed review of this trailer further down the road. I just want to get way more time on it before I kind of give my honest feedback. But so far so good. I was beyond impressed with how the trailer managed those 6 pallets that we loaded. Those pallets probably weighed anywhere between like 2,000 to 3,500 pounds, I think. So no, so you're looking at I don't know, probably close to 15,000 ish pounds, and the trailer itself is 5,000 pounds. So we were kind of maxing out its capacity, but yeah, more to come on that. If you like this kind of stuff, I'm going to be doing a lot more. Just what I do. I work in consulting, financial consulting. I work for myself now. I used to have the corporate gig, but I got so far into I don't know what you want to call it, professional home ownership, as some of the people on YouTube call it. But I live on 5 acres. I have additional acreage. I have a bunch of investment properties. I have some other side businesses, side hustles. So I got a lot going on, and I kind of just I like dealing with the equipment. I like doing reviews. I've always been interested in YouTube, so I'm just putting out my own content. Super into hunting, guns as well, family life. So there's going to be just kind of a montage of different things I'm going to be throwing out here and seeing what sticks. But if you like it, subscribe. Talk to you soon.